This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened. Often the best source of hope in a crisis is people committed to doing whatever it takes to try and save a life. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of danger, heroism, and faith on Rescue 911. July 11th, 1988, Bedford, Indiana, 8 p.m.
Video 54, proprietor Troy Salee was leaving and locking the front door.
Any chance we still run a video?
He convinced Troy to open the door and allow them to come in to rent videos. Three of the men accompanied Troy inside.
Hey, what do you got over here?
Look, see what you got.
Yeah, that's right here.
Once inside the store, one of the men told him that this is a robbery.
Give me your keys. Open the register. Hurry up! Let's go. Come on. Get in here.
I'll be up front.
Hands behind your back. Tilt your head back. Tilt your head back! Ah!
At 8:15 p.m., a call for help came in.
Hey, bud. This is Troy up Video 54. Yeah. I've been cut up. I've been robbed. How many hell you man? Troy Salee? Yeah.
I'd known him for quite some time. It was a little strange coming from somebody you know, but the first priority is, of course, do your job.
I'm in trouble, okay? Yeah.
I assured him that officers were going to be on the way, told him not to hang up, and at that time I put on the ambulance service.
In a second, because they cut my neck.
Cut your neck?
Yeah, so hurry.
Okay.
I'm not going to make it if you don't get here.
Can I have contact number, please? Okay, where's the number?
Dispatcher Brian Turpin put out a call over the police radio.
Okay.
131 Bedford.
31.
Have a 911 request for police. Video 54, Lincoln Plaza. Subject's been robbed.
Okay, I'll send them on their way.
Please hurry.
Ambulance service hung up, and so did Troy. I tried to call back, nobody answered, so I locked him in on our 911, so all he had to do is pick up.
The shift commander on duty that night was Police Officer Ken Bell.
As we entered the parking area, Mike Ragsdale, my senior patrolman, went to the front of the store, and we cruised through the lot checking to see if anybody's running away that might be involved in this robbery.
Officer Mike Ragsdale headed for the front door.
3133, front secure.
I looked around in the building through the door and windows, and I couldn't see anyone.
The door was locked.
You're hyped up, you're trying to get everything you can, and you can't get any information if nobody's there.
Please, our emergency.
Hey, this is Troy.
Yeah, where you at, Troy?
In the video store.
They're out front.
I can't help it, man. I can't get out of the office.
Well, okay, you're in. You can't get all the doors are locked.
Wait a single shot. Well, good shot.
131 Bedford.
I heard the phone drop, so I don't know if he's okay, if he's fell down, if he's passed out, or what's happened.
A few seconds later, I saw someone walking out of the back room towards the front of the store.
31 Ave said you're coming out. He's down.
I knew Troy personally, and I thought he was a dead person at that point in time. I think I semi-panicked, and the only way to get into him was to break out the door glass, and we were not having any success even at that.
33 Bedford, send me a fire unit down here.
So at that time, I called and asked them to send a fire unit there.
Officer Ragsdale called me from the front of the store, and he advised that he needed assistance. The subject has collapsed on the floor. I stepped over the curb and looked inside. Looked like he soaked blood and wasn't moving at all. He was just motionless. My adrenaline was really pumping, and I thought time was against us. So I told Mike, just stand back. I'll get us into the store.
Mike, cover me, okay? Joe, cover Mike.
He was just laying there lifeless.
Bedford City Police, Ken Bell.
I took my hand, I put it down to his neck. When I did, I could feel warm blood. I could lift his neck back a little bit, and it looked like his neck had been slit from ear to ear.
Ken Bell applied pressure to Troy's neck to try and stop the bleeding.
This is Ken Bell, can you hear me?
I kept looking at him. I said, "Can you hear me? This is Ken Bell. Can you hear me?" And he opened his eyes. He said, "Ken."
Listen, lay still, all right?
And he looked at me and he said, "Am I going to die?" And I said, no, the ambulance will be here in a few minutes and they're going to take care of you. In my mind, I thought he was going to die, but I didn't know how to answer him. I said, "Troy, I need to ask you some questions."
What is that, Troy?
He said, "Will you promise me something? Promise me you'll catch these guys that done this to me."
When we continue,
once I had the information about what had happened, my thoughts were we were dealing with some very ruthless and gruesome men.
when police officers found Troy Sallee lying on the floor of his video store, he was bleeding to death from multiple stab wounds suffered during a robbery. Police officer Ken Bell was doing anything he could to try to keep Troy alive until paramedics could get to the scene.
Troy, we're going to need your help on that, all right? Can you answer some questions for me?
I said, we have no witnesses but you. You've got to stay with us. You've got to give me some specific information.
Just lay still, okay?
From that point, it seemed like everything just slowed
I
down.
need your help. Can you tell me what happened?
I asked him how many were there, and he said there was 4. One of them had a gun, one of them had a knife.
What kind of car was it?
I said, can you tell me anything about the car?
Silver. It was a silver car, you know the year?
I knew that'd be important, because if that was their escape vehicle, then we'd have to have a description of the car.
What was it, a 78 Chevy?
78 Chevy Malibu.
Okay, 78 Chevy Malibu. Is there anything, think a minute, all right?
I said, can you tell me anything about it that might help us identify it right away? And Troy said, yes, it's got a temporary dealer plate in the back window behind the driver. And I was just amazed that this man is laying here with all these stab wounds in him, and he can sit there and give me this information.
We're going to be, the EMTs are here now. Here comes the ambulance, all right?
One of the first paramedics on the scene was Sherry Hansen.
He had multiple stab wounds. After we hit about 20, we stopped counting. We also found a sucking chest wound. It was an indication that he had a puncture into the lining of the lung.
Okay? Got a non-rebreather going. Need you to fight, all right?
Detective Commander Paul Endress arrived and took over the investigation.
Once I had the information about what had happened and I saw all the blood inside the store, my thoughts were we were dealing with some very ruthless and gruesome men. We needed to get them, and we needed to get them fast.
Ken relayed the information gathered from Troy back to headquarters.
Turpin, it's Major Bell.
Got it. At that time, I dispatched it to the other communities, so everybody north, south, east, and west get the communication.
Requesting to investigate reference armed robbery occurred in this city approximately
30 miles away in Brownstown, Lieutenant Paul Starr was on routine patrol.
I'd been there about 6 or 7 minutes, and a gray Chevrolet with a temporary license plate stopped at a self-service service station. I called my dispatch and asked if one of these individuals in his car had on a white or a light colored shirt.
Hold on, I have an emergency call.
Dispatcher Brian Turpin confirmed that one of the suspects was wearing a light-colored shirt.
36-25-3, I believe this is a suspect vehicle. You might give me some backup started this way.
When Troy's parents, Marge and Bob Salee, showed up at the scene, officers would not allow them to enter the store.
I figured they wanted to keep me out of there because there was no life left in him. I was just paralyzed nearly. It was an eerie feeling.
I did not let go of his neck because we thought that possibly he had gotten into the jugular vein. So I requested that dispatch contact the two surgeons and have them into ER stat.
I got where my lights would shine in the back window of the car, and the individual on the left ear had a long dangling earring.
25-3, would you contact Bedford again?
So I got back with my dispatch, and they confirmed that yes, one of these individuals did have a red T-shirt and a long earring. I stayed with the vehicle, and we were getting close to a government housing project. So at this time I said, best get me some help as soon as you can. If they get out of this car and get in this project, we're in for a shootout.
At Bedford Medical Center, Troy's mother finally got to speak to him.
He was worse than I thought he would be. I kept saying to myself, you can't cry. You know, I thought if he sees me crying, he's going to get all excited about this. I just stood there and I said, you're going to make it. And he said, I'll make it. And then he said, I love you guys. I kind of thought, you suppose that's the last time he'll say that?
They pulled into the project, pulled up to the curb, and the vehicle stopped. The back doors of it opened. By this time, I was out of my patrol car.
In the vehicle. Close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. Close the other door, I'll blow it off.
I was thinking to myself, I hope they don't get out, because if they do, I'm in trouble.
Put your hands up where I can see them.
We found not only the gun used to hold on Troy, we also found the knife used to cut Troy's throat. In the back seat, we found the billfold stolen from Troy.
Also found in the car was evidence linking 3 of the suspects to the kidnapping and murder of a young woman in Kentucky. All of the men are currently serving long-term sentences at Indiana State Prison.
The apprehension of the suspects was successful not only because of the cooperation of all the police agencies in the area, but also because of the heads-up play of Troy.
Troy Salee not only survived, but has completely recovered.
What kept me going was that I was real intense and wanting to be able to catch guys that would do this to somebody. I knew the only way I could get back at them if I stayed alive.
Everybody said, well, you'll have to sell that video store. That kid will never be able to go back in there. And he was chomping the bit to get back in that video store. I think he's fabulous.
I think the paramedics and the policemen did a fantastic job. I don't think there could have been any better. They were there real quick, and I feel like they're the reason he lived.
For a team to act like that and to respond like they did and get me to the hospital and take care of me, I think they deserve a lot of credit. I owe them my life.
Next.
There was a lot of snowmobiles out on the ice. There was people everywhere. There was no reason to think that the ice wasn't safe.
Although snowfall can be heavy and temperatures often plunge below zero, Canada is a nation that enjoys and celebrates its winter season. On February 1st, 1990, the small resort town of Huntsville, Ontario, hosted the annual Winter Wonderfest, as it has for more than 20 years. Among those enjoying the snowmobile races on the frozen waters of Lake Vernon that afternoon were Barbara Hearn and her family.
There was a lot of snowmobiles out on the ice. There was people everywhere. There was no reason to think that the ice wasn't safe.
Barbara and her daughter decided to go home early, leaving her husband Brian and their 6-year-old son Stephen to watch a few more races.
I know, but I'm ready to go. You want to go? Yeah. For a ride?
When it came time to drive the 2 miles home, Brian decided to take a shortcut across the frozen lake. Although Brian normally did not drive across the lake, he felt safe knowing there were other snowmobilers around. Lanny Payne was just a few hundred feet away at the time of the accident.
Couldn't believe my eyes when I saw them go through. I couldn't get too close, and I knew I didn't have a rope or anything. I don't think they could have survived too long. It was cold, darn cold. Well, they must have been really afraid. And there was nothing there for him to grab. The ice around him was just breaking away. He had nothing to hold on to. So there was really nothing he could do but try his hardest to hold his son up.
Come on, right here, reach, guys! Reach! Oh!
Ross Sully happened to be on the ice that day, demonstrating his hovercraft when he spotted the victims.
Ice water is numbing experience. And the thought was in my mind that these people are going to die if we don't execute the rescue very quickly. There's very little time. And once they go below the surface, there's nothing that we're going to be able to do.
Come on, you're almost there!
I saw that the father was struggling with every bit of breath that he had left in him to hold his son above the water. And with the hypothermia, it didn't leave very much time. He was going to go down. They couldn't make very much headway because of the snowmobile suits that had soaked up so much water.
Finally, I was able to reach out and grab the small boy.
We then managed to get to the father, but there was little to grab onto. We could see his fingers digging into the rubber on the side of the craft to try and hang on.
All that you're thinking at the time is, I don't really care what happens to me, just keep him alive, keep him alive.
Without the hovercraft, which is able to float across any surface on a cushion of air, rescuers might never have been able to reach Brian and his son in time. Brian and Stephen have not gone snowmobiling since the accident.
We don't like talking about it because it's one of those things that you just want to forget about. And the best thing that came out, that we were all right.
I'm just so grateful to everybody that we can be here to enjoy the smaller things in life. Ross and Lanny were the two people on the scene that did what they had to do, risked their own lives, and what they did was very special, and thank you. Just it isn't enough. I mean, what can you do for somebody that saved your life?
I could have lost them. And I think then you realize how much that you do love them and need them and care for them. And it frightens me to think about life without both of them.
Get her.
Step out of the car, please.